Hi, and welcome back to our series on early learning. Welcome also to all of our new followers, as we have had lots of people join our little community this week. In last week's video, I showed you some of the basic techniques on how to teach your child to read, and we focused mainly on phonics and words that are read phonetically. But as we know, English has many sounds that don't look the way that they sound, and lots of single sounds that are actually made up of 2 or 3 different letters together. So in this week's video, I want to chat to you about how to teach your child some of those more complex sounds. Now, there are way too many of them for us to cover all of them in this short video. Also, it takes many years of instruction and schooling in order to help your child read fluently. And our aim is in no way to get your child to read fluently before they go to school. All we want to do with these videos is to give you a bit of a map, so that if you have a child who is curious and really interested in reading and wants to explore books more independently, this map can hopefully help you navigate how to teach him some of those more complex sounds. And I want to focus specifically on the sounds that he's most likely to come across in early learning and early reading books for children. Now, the first 2 sounds that you want to introduce are the th and sh sounds. Why? Because your child is very likely to come across these words as soon as they start reading stories and books. Think about words like the, this, then, that, them, then, and they. And also the sh sounds in common words like she, and should, and shout. I find often that the best way for children to learn a new sound is if they can relate it to a short story. And with these 2 sound combinations, I teach my students that 2 consonant sounds can sometimes get married. And when they get married, they make a new sound altogether. So that when t and h get married, they make th. And when s and h get married, they make sh. The second set of sounds that you want to introduce is the oo and e sounds. Again, your child is very likely to come across words that contain these sounds. Think about words like look, book, took, or zoo, and also the E sound in words like see, or tree, or three. And again, I introduce these sounds through a very simple little story. So I will tell my children that the R can sometimes have a twin. And when you have 2 R's together, that makes oo. And also, when you have E twins or E twins together, you get the sound E. Now, we spoke earlier about the importance of word families, how that relates to rhyming, and also how teaching word families is one of the cornerstones for children to learn to read. And I've used the concept of word families in some activities to help your children learn these different sounds. So for instance, we've made a word family roll just by using a toilet roll. And I'm not sure if you can see, but what I've got there is the sound combination E. And if I twist this paper, I can get the words see, 3, or 3, 3, and somewhere I have tree. I'm not sure that you can see that because the light behind the camera is so bright. The look sign specifically is one that often helps children to remember what that oo sound looks like. So this sound immediately, graphically, helps the child to make that representation of the sound oo. And then, if you want to also incorporate some other senses, not just sight, but also perhaps smell and taste, I love this activity that uses Fruit Loops. And so we've made all the oo words out of Fruit Loops. So you have look and book and broom and spoon and so on. The third complexity that you want to teach is something that we call the magic E. It can sometimes confuse children that when they look at a single vowel, it is sometimes pronounced in a short way, like a and I and e, and at other times that same vowel is pronounced in a long way. Think about the A in words like make, or U in a word like tube. Now, we usually explain that through the concept of the magic E. So with most of these words, you will find that there is an E at the end. And I explain to children that it is the E that has the magic. And its magic is so strong that even though it's at the end of the word, it can still influence the way that the first vowel is pronounced. This is very easy to understand if you make these little rainbow words. And so here you can see how the magic of the E makes that A sound turn into a long vowel sound, like A in make. And again, the E changes it into a long take, I sound. And then again, a word like snake, where you have the same thing. Also very popular in my practice is the magic E wand. So you might see there's an E on there. And what happens is when you have this magic wand, you can turn short vowel words like tap and fin, tub and rid into words like tape, fine, tube, and ride, all through the use of your magic E. Finally, you want to explain to children that sometimes two different vowel sounds together can make an altogether new sound. This can be quite complex, but I've actually found a little trick to help them remember this or to help them figure it out more easily. Now, I have to caution that this trick or this hack works about 90% of the time. But as with most English words, there are exceptions. My tip is to teach your children this trick and to say to them it works most of the time. Try it this way, and if that doesn't work, try a different sound to see whether that makes the word make more sense. The trick is this. When you have two different vowel sounds together, the sound that makes is usually the name of the first letter in the combination. So for instance, if you think about words like boat and goat and float, what you hear is the O, the letter name for the first vowel. In say and pay and day, you hear the A. In meat and heat, you hear the E. And in train and pain and rain, you hear the A. Now, I have made some sliders. It's incredibly easy. All you need to do is to have a paper plate like this, and I've cut a little section in here where we are going to be pulling through this strip of paper with different words. So you can have day, or if I pull it, it becomes say, stay, way, may, or pay. You can also make these little books, and you will make the last page longer than all the other pages, so that what happens is if I flip through this book, I have the words goat and boat and float and throat. Oh gosh, and so it carries on. I've also come across an absolutely wonderful little video on YouTube that has a song about how the different vowel combinations should be pronounced. It's a song by Walking Between the Lions, and the name of the song is called When Two Vowels Go Walking. It's incredibly catchy. In fact, I often find myself singing the song while I'm alone in the car. So to help you just show that to your children in a practical way, I'm going to see whether I can embed the video, or at least put a link to that video at the bottom of this video article here. That is all really for this week. And I think that's as far as we're really going to be going with reading. As I say, we don't want to introduce your child to too many different sounds and confuse them. Please remember that you need to go very slowly through this process of reading with your child. And our primary goal is really for them to develop a love of reading and a love of books, and to never ever feel pressured to have to learn to read. From next week, we move on to fine motor control. Now, I'm going to explain to you what it is, why fine motor control is important in school, and show you some fun ways to develop this concept with your child at home. Thanks everyone. Have an awesome week.